Hey, it's Kelly with Back to Health Chiropractic, and we are in our own office today at our Zealand location. We've got a very special guest. We've got Ken with us who plays the ukulele, but he is also a musician of sorts and play a couple different things, right?
Yeah, I do.
So we are going to meet with Ken today. We're going to just ask him some questions and see how therapeutic exercises, stretches, and chiropractic care can help with some of the aches and pains that he experiences. A lot of people experience from being a musician. Yeah. So tell me what is the top thing that you struggle with by doing something that you love so much?
Well, for me, it's actually kind of the stretching, to be able to reach a really strange chord. And all of my ukulele friends will understand this also. If I say, okay, let's all play the E chord, I can hear them all grumbling out there about playing it. It's like the most difficult one for me to play. I still can't play it after 4.5 years. So it's a really big stretch. And it's also, a lot of people will remember Star Trek and be able to do the, okay, well, I can't do that without a little help stretching. Gotcha. So some people can, I can't. So those are the kind of things that, how do we build in those stretches or have different positions for our hands or our arms, just so that we can accommodate that.
And be better and be able to do what you love on a daily basis. Awesome. Well, we're glad you're here. We're going to bring Dr. Taylor in and see what we can do to help.
Great. Thank you. So it's generally, like with a guitar, it's going to be much lower usually. People are playing down here. And a ukulele, they tend to be up here. Okay. Almost like the 2 o'clock, 4 and 2 position.
And I imagine, if you've been playing for a long time, you've kind of already developed some muscle memory. Mm-hmm. And that's really important. And that's something that we compare with musicians, hairstylists, athletes, all those people. Once you have that muscle memory, sometimes it changes performance when we change too much. Sure. So I'm not trying to change how you perform, but I want to make sure that you finish playing, you're taking care of your body. Because if you are, and especially say you're getting a little passionate about it, sometimes we tend to do this with our shoulders. Yeah. So some stretches I would recommend would be for after we're playing. Okay. And also, I would recommend a warm-up. Sure. Okay. Because people don't think about that. If you're going to sit, say you play for an hour, your muscles get fatigued just like anything else. So doing a little bit of stretching like this, just the gentle stuff prior to playing, is just as important as running a marathon. Okay. After the fact, though, for up here, so you're saying a lot of neck stiffness, things like that? Yeah, and it's, if, for instance, and again, my ukulele friends will know, like when you're doing a chucking like that, I can still even feel, I finally, after a couple of years, got my chuck down, and that sound is great, but it was like, when I started, it was like, I'd get done and I'd go, oh man, my teeth hurt, my jaw hurts, my shoulders hurt. So it was learning that, because it's a heavy technique, but after you do it, it's like, okay, now it just flows. But in the beginning, it hurt so much. And even now, I was doing it earlier today, I was like, man, that's a hard song to play, and that one just doesn't fit real well. So couple things there. So there's some muscles right here. So when you those muscles throw up, there's some stretches we can do for that. Super easy. All you have to do is kind of take one arm behind you and then ever so gently pull the head. Okay. The big thing is people do this all the time. They say, oh, it feels great. How long are you holding it? That's the ticket. 20 to 30 seconds is what science says we need to make an actual metabolic change in the muscle to lengthen the muscle to get you some relief.
And no bouncing to it or anything.
No, we're not ripping our head off, right? We're just holding it. Okay. And then I like to go through a series. So I call them this is fun, the sniff your pit muscles. So one arm's behind you and you're going to sniff your pit. This hand is coming up behind the head. That's going to stretch one muscle. Then you take the chin up. That's going to get a second muscle. Then you go back down to the pit. Okay. Take this arm and bring it up overhead. That is going to get 3 muscles that are really engaged when you're doing that. So first of all, when you're hunched like this, these muscles here like to get tight. That's what those are for. All right. When you go to the side, those are your clenching muscles that you're relaxing there. Okay. And then a lot of times we're going forward. So we round the shoulders out. Right. The next thing I would recommend is postural exercises and your chin tucks. Okay. Everything's really fun. We sniff our pits and then we make double chins. So when you're sitting up, you want to go back. I know it's gorgeous. We love seeing ourselves that way, right? Yes. The big thing is to make sure that we're not going down. We're not going up. We're going straight back, almost like you're smelling something funny where you're
Okay, it's almost like our vocal exercises too, where we say, no, don't sing up here, don't sing down here.
Sing
you want
right here.
to move within this area here.
Especially because depending on how you're set up, so say that your stand is that far away from you and you're straining to see, obviously it would be better if you could bring it closer and more ergonomic to you, so you're not leaning forward. But say that just happens to be how you have to set up that day. Afterwards, take the time, do your chin tucks.
Okay.
And that will help relieve some of the pressure behind the head as well.
Okay, good.
For the fingers, you said a lot of times people get right in here, they get really, really tight.
Exactly.
So actually, we're gonna go up higher. So when you go like this, you should feel a nice pull, almost hurts.
Yep.
Follow that pain all the way up, right around there.
Okay.
And you should feel that muscle get really tight. So then you can just kind of give yourself a little massage while you're doing that. And follow the muscle belly.
Okay.
And that will actually help to loosen up the thumb.
Okay.
Because the muscle that works the thumb is actually all the way up here.
All right, sure. Yeah, you can see it when you move it up and down. Yeah, okay.
Also, sometimes that joint just gets locked up because if you're playing and you're holding your fingers in that position for that long, sometimes just a good adjustment might help too.
Okay.
We got to get those joints moving the way they should to cooperate, so that way your body can adapt to your lifestyle. You can adapt to playing.
All right.
Because we never want to have to give up.
I know. I don't want to hurt.
Exactly.
This is supposed to be fun, right? This is fun. Yeah.
So it's not so much things during your performance other than the ergonomics.
Right.
But afterwards, making sure that you're diligent about doing those stretches, because that's what's going to release all of that kind of buildup from straining.
Okay.
And then doing a warm up before.
Great.
Because people don't take it seriously sometimes, but doing a good warm up before you play for about 5 minutes probably helps as well.
That's good. And then the other one that is a big thing for everybody is playing a bar chord. So being able to do something, where you're all the way across there, and of course you've really got to grip, and it's pinching is what you're trying to do to get that pressure there. So of course there's a lot of aching right there, and then being able to stretch to something like, okay, here's the alternate E chord, everybody. This is the one I play, but I have to play it all the way out here because my fingers don't stretch really that far real well. So that's another one, is that being able to stretch that far to be able to make those chords happen.
That's going to come down to that warm up and that cool down again. Okay. Just like things, but this time we're doing that.
All right.
So that's going to stretch all of the muscles in the palm. Probably feel that right up here.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then we can do this one as well. Doesn't feel like much.
And are you pressing?
You're pressing your hands together here.
Okay. Okay.
That's also going to help stretch at the wrists.
Okay.
For the fingers themselves, it's stuff that you would do anyway, right? We all do this to kind of give ourselves a little self-love.
Yeah.
Well, again, it comes down to holding it.
Okay.
And we all have to sit here for 20 seconds in order to feel the big response there, right? But again, science has shown us that when we just do it really quickly, it's not enough. Okay. We have to actually influence the muscle and to influence the joint. We need to hold it for a good 20 to 30 seconds.
All right. Good.
Anything else?
I think that's mainly those are the main things that we all kind of struggle with, and that we all have to deal with those things. If you want to play those chords, you have to do those stretches.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's not just that too. It's keeping your whole body, healthy. So in order to combat doing this posture all day, we need to remember to bring the shoulders back and sit up nice and tall. And of course, adjustments are going to help with that because we got to get those joints moving properly because we can stretch all day, but if those joints are still really locked up, we got to make sure that we release the pressure on the joint as well, so that way the muscles and the joints can all play together happily. Okay. Any particular posture comments about type of chairs or type of sitting? Obviously keeping our feet flat on the floor. Feet on the floor, that's going to be big. A little bit of lumbar support if you can. I just don't know how that would alter if your belly's out a little bit. Would that affect how
it wouldn't for me. I know for some women, playing, obviously they're holding it out because they might have larger breasts or something. So, there's different positioning there. So not sure. For me, it's not much of a problem to do that. But, again, for other people, I'm sure it'll be personal to them.
Yeah, I would say a little bit of lumbar support. So not one of those big curves, so that way your belly's not getting pushed all the way forward, but instead just a little bit of emphasis, so that way you don't find yourself leaning forward too much.
Oh, sure.
You can kind of lean back on the chair while still getting the forward push that you need.
Okay, good.
Can I answer that question for you?
Yeah, it does. That's good.
Anything else I can do for you?
That should be it. I mean, that should be it for now.
Say, right?
Hopefully there's others. And of course, we've had other people send in questions too. So hopefully at some point, maybe we can talk a little bit more about those specifically.
Yeah.
So maybe there might be some subsequent little videos we can do just to say, this covers this area in particular, or, and there's been some recommendations that people have sent in too. So I'd love to share those with you.
Yeah, for sure. This was just like a little intro.
Good.
It's just let's get the ball rolling, and then as specific questions arise, I'm sure we can work with it.
Great. Excellent.
Sound good?
Thank you very much. I
You're
appreciate
very
it. Yeah.
welcome.